and welcome to Arts 24, or you might call us Cannes 24 in the coming days as we continue our special coverage of the 79th Cannes Film Festival. Let's cross straight to our culture editor, Eve Jackson, who is following all the action on the French Riviera. Hi, Eve. It was a late night on the Croisette with the roar of engines shaking up the crowd.
That's right, Alison. It's a global phenomenon. Last night, Cannes celebrated the 25th anniversary of the Fast and Furious franchise, the turbocharged street racing thriller that first hit screens back in 2001, now on the red carpet at this midnight screening of the original film with the actresses Michelle Rodriguez and Jordana Brewster. Lots of excitement also on the streets for Vin Diesel. It was an emotional moment for him as the daughter of his friend, the co-star Paul Walker, was there. Meadow Walker, now that actor, died in a car accident back in 2013. Now this is a saga that has earned something like $7 billion at the box office, and lots of excitement here in Cannes.
Nice to see that tribute to Paul Walker. Well, The Fast and the Furious is not a film that one might typically associate with a festival like Cannes, but it has definitely earned its place in cinematic history. Olivia Salazar-Winspear takes a look back.
It all began with souped-up streetcars racing through Los Angeles and went on to become one of the biggest film franchises in movie history, making more than $7 billion worldwide. The 2001 film introduced audiences to undercover cop Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, and street racing king Dominic Toretto, embodied by Vin Diesel. As the sequels rolled in, the stakes got higher, and the action shifted to glamorous locations around the world. Rio, Abu Dhabi, Tokyo, and Havana. They even managed a chase in outer space. The saga was becoming an international box office phenomenon with a very loyal fan base.
It's amazing to get recognized and you feel so much love from the fans. It's an incredible franchise to be a part of.
New stars joined the cast, but the friendship between Dom and Brian was its emotional center.
What are you smiling about? Dude, I almost had you.
Actor Paul Walker's death in 2013 was a tragic blow for fans and the filmmakers. Furious 7 was a tribute to the late actor.
I'll always be grateful for Universal for their homage that they did so with their hearts and with so much class. It makes me believe that Paul is here with us today.
Furious 7 quickly broke records in North America and China, generating more than $1.5 billion at the box office. Vin Diesel himself is among the highest paid actors in Hollywood, with an estimated net worth of $75 million. As Universal's most profitable franchise, the Fast and Furious world now extends to video games, an animated series, and even a ride at Universal Studios. An 11th film, Fast Forever, should be completed in 2028. From illegal street races to the red carpet at Cannes,
Let's race!
Judging by the roar of those engines, the Fast saga isn't slowing down anytime soon.
Okay, so the 25th anniversary of The Fast and the Furious dominated the action Wednesday night. Eve, what other films have been revving up people's engines?
Well, one of the wildest movies Cannes has seen in a while is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. Now, this is from the director Jane Schobrun, and it's part slasher movie, part fever dream, and part commentary on fandom and identity. Now, it stars Gillian Anderson, who we know best for The X-Files, and now Sex Education, of course. Opposite her is Hacks actress Hannah Einbinder. Now, she plays a young queer filmmaker. Let's take a look.
Little death.
Now, people here are loving just how unhinged this film is. Critics are comparing it to David Lynch and David Cronenberg, so that gives you an idea of the tone. And there's one scene, apparently, with so much fake blood that Gillian Anderson said she nearly had a panic attack watching it.
All right, so it sounds like that is not a film for the queasy then. Another movie, Eve, causing some buzz with a high-profile cast is Butterfly Jam. Tell us about that one.
Well, it's set inside a tight-knit Circassian community in Newark, in New Jersey, in America. Now, we follow a 16-year-old wrestler called Temir, who idolizes his father, Azik, played by Barry Keoghan. Now, Azik runs a diner. He's a dreamer, a storyteller, a bit of a lovable chaos merchant, really. The title comes from something he tells his son, that he can make jam out of anything, even butterflies. Now, the Russian director Kantemir Balagov is really one to watch. His first two films, Closeness and Beanpole, were totally extraordinary. Now, he originally wrote this story set in Russia, then had to leave when the war in Ukraine began. He discovered this Circassian community in New Jersey and essentially rebuilt the whole film around that. Now, it has extraordinary actors. Keoghan is magnetic as the reckless father, and Riley Keough plays the older sister, holding everything together. And Harry Melling is also in the film with a very interesting role.
All right, well, I like Keoghan and I like the circus, so I'll have to keep my eye out for that one. Let's talk about films from the official competition presented this Thursday. Now, this first one is the French language Parallel Tales, or Histoire Parallèle, from Oscar-winning Iranian director Asghar Farhadi. It stars Isabelle Huppert as a novelist who takes inspiration from her across-the-street neighbors. France 24's Louise Dupont spoke with some other members of the all-star cast about what it was like working with Asghar Farhadi.
It's pretty accurate to say he works like a painter. The precision of the frame, and then us inside that frame. The precision of the movement, that's quite rare, meaning he will guide you through a specific movement. He will even have filmed those movements beforehand.
Comment tu fais pour écrire ces histoires? Comment tu les inventes? Pourquoi tu veux savoir?
His themes tend to be more social and about people. He dissects society, human and moral relationships, within which deep issues can be found. But I felt like I was simply making a film by a great filmmaker.
Quel roman de merde, là, hein? Tu sais ce que j'en pense?
Mais arrête! Les gens se comportent plus comme ça aujourd'hui.
Ah oui, ils se comportent comment?
T'approches pas bien.
Now, another film in competition this Thursday is Fatherland from Polish director Paweł Pawlikowski. Eve, tell us more about that one.
Well, this is one of the most anticipated films in the competition, Alison. Pawlikowski won the Best Director prize here at Cannes in 2018 for Cold War, and he's back on very similar territory, actually, a road movie set in 1949. Now, it follows the Nobel Prize-winning author Thomas Mann and his daughter Erica as they drive across a devastated, divided Germany. This is really a film about guilt, identity, and what home means when your country has destroyed itself. Now, Hans Zickler plays Mann and Sandra Hüller plays Erica. Back in 2023, of course, Sandra had two films here in Cannes, Anatomy of a Fall, which took the Palme d'Or, and The Zone of Interest, also in competition. Now, this year, she has other films, other big films coming out, Digger with Tom Cruise and Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling. She is really the actress of the moment.
And Eve, you could say the most iconic image of Cannes is that red carpeted staircase leading up to the Palais des Festivals. But it's not only stars who get to take that glamorous path. Stella Elgersma explains who gets to walk the red carpet.
Who actually walks the steps at Cannes? Spoiler, it's not just the stars. At the Grand Théâtre Lumière, there are 2,309 seats, and it's full at every showing. That's because not only can film crews walk on the red carpet, but also journalists, influencers, celebrities, and Cannes locals who manage to snag an invitation. But not everyone walks the same red carpet. Stars are dropped off by taxi right in front of the red carpet. Everyone else arrives on foot, and depending on your badge, you you enter at the bottom, halfway up, or right at the very top of the staircase. There are also people whose entire job is to manage the flow of guests. They position people in front of the photographers and then signal when it's time to move along, though some people don't always listen. The film's cast always arrives last and to the same music. They stay on the red carpet longer than the other guests, taking pictures before heading up the stairs. Once they get to the top, the screening can start. Finally, it might be surprising, but the carpet is much shorter than it looks in photos. It's only 60 meters long, and for most guests, the whole thing is over in a matter of seconds.
Now, Eve, you are a regular at Cannes, and I know you've walked the red carpet at least a couple of times. Can you tell us just briefly a bit about what it's like?
Alison, it is a very intense experience. People take hours getting ready, and it is a magical moment. I was at the premiere of Quentin Tarantino's *Inglourious Basterds* at my very first Cannes, which was back in 2009. That was really fun, so you can imagine that was a great memory. But it can be quite a stressful experience because you heard that you're not allowed to take photos as you're going up those stairs, but you're still trying to do it anyway, discreetly, because it's like a once or a few times in a lifetime experience. So you just end up getting told off by the security guards, but it's worth it to get that photo. The most exciting part, though, really is being in the cinema with the actors and the director behind the film. There's nothing quite like that.
Well, Eve, I have to say you look great in those photos, and I, for one, would definitely worry about what to wear. Thank you so much for all those updates from Cannes. For some more red carpet inspiration, we can end with a look at some of the best from the red carpet so far. Thanks to all of you for watching, and do tune in again tomorrow. We'll be back with all of the latest from Cannes.